Ha, ha, ha. As you will remember, this air conditioner HVAC system was leaking before. I had a pan under here and I'm going to take it out now. We've been running it for a week or so since it had the leak. And voila, no water. I've got it shut off right now. But when it was on, if you will remember, it was leaking, it was dripping right over here, and that had nothing to do with where the drip pin was for it. On an air conditioner like this, you look in there, and let's see if I can get the light in there. See, that area over there is where the drip pan is, and this thing gets cold and condenses, and those fins in there get all white. All these copper pipes get white because they're super cold, and then everything runs down here, collects down at the bottom on a pan, and then it drips into the condensate line. And you can clean that by taking this cap out over here. This is plastic right there, and it drips down into a pan. Well, it wasn't dripping over there, and usually if you have an air conditioning leak, and if it's just water, you know it's coming from the condensate pipe, because everything that's connected to here is Freon lines. These two pipes here have certain things in it that's all filled up under pressure, and that's what causes all the cold to freeze up. Now, what was happening here, I don't know if you saw that other video of mine or not, but see, there's a filter down there. And that filter we slid out. We pulled it out from here, and it was all kind of caked up with stuff. And I took it outside, and as a whim, I thought, okay, I'm going to sweep that off. I swept it all off, and I think those are washable type of filters. And I put that back in and turned everything back on, put the lid back on, because you have to put the lid on for this to freeze up. Here's the lid right here, and you just take it off with little sheet metal screws, and I didn't have an attachment. You can use a socket set to get that off, or in this case I just used a crescent wrench. Okay, but it was dripping over here, and what was happening was right up here at the top of this cap, it was getting so cold that was dripping water, condensation water off of there, off to the side where the insulation is, running down here, and drip, 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 drip down on the floor under here. Then it went underneath this bottom plate and out on underneath the carpet pad. I took the carpet pad up, and I just got done sealing this floor. Doesn't it look nice? It had black tar on it, vinyl tiles on there. I took those off because they were getting wet and they were popping up. And I took that off, black tile, black tar underneath that. I removed all of that, and that's what gave me the stained look. And the owner wanted the floor to be stained and sealed anyways, and then I sealed it and everything. So we had to get this leak fixed, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. We were going to have to call an air conditioner company, and I was afraid it was going to cost an arm and a leg on there, and lo and behold, it stopped leaking. And I think what happened is that this filter was so clogged up, and it was getting everything in here that much colder. If you can think about it, if you're sucking through a straw or blowing, puckering your lips and blowing, you can blow colder air out than if you were to just blow a whole lot. And so what was happening was that the filter was so clogged, and this was where the air return grill was, and I've got to screw that back on, and there it is right there. Okay, the air was trying to suck into the air conditioner, and it was so hard to do that, it was sucking in and making it colder in here. You see what I mean? And so once I cleaned off the filter, and it was a washable type filter. Now your filters might not be washable, they might be those cardboard corrugated type perforated ones. You always got to make sure you check your filters, because it was simple as cleaning that filter, because then I created more air passageways through that filter, and then it was like a whole 16 inches by 20 inches of air coming through there. and it was giving more air suction into here, and this still was plenty cold to do its trick, but it didn't get so cold that it got extra condensation on top of here. So then no water was dripping down there, and I thought, could it be that simple? And sure enough, we checked the bucket underneath there, because this was filling up. This right here was filling up in, probably an afternoon. Then we'd have to pull it out. Originally, I had this container in there, and that would take about a day, but then I had to lift it up over that lip, and it was kind of hard to do it. And so I thought, I'll just put that in there, and then I can hear it dripping in there a little bit easier to see if the water leak was still there or whatever. I was fully prepared to have the owner call an air conditioning company and find out, okay, what's the deal? How come it's still leaking? Because that was fresh water. It couldn't be really coming from the unit per se. And sure enough, I was right in my thinking, because that filter is all clean now. I swept it all off, and no more drips. It could be something as simple as that. So when you have an HVAC system, now this one here is located in a closet right in a hallway. You can take that cover off, make sure you turn the power off to it, pull that out, shine your flashlight in there and see what's going on. Because if it was dripping over here underneath, the pan could have been full, the outlet could be clogged with sludge or something. And see, this is a T that's open, and if you shine a flashlight down there with your air conditioner going, you can feel out with your finger, and you can look and see if the water is flowing out of there. And if your water is not flowing out or something, it could be because you've got some sludge that's cascaded down, that has built up in your pan, and or maybe something else is in there that's causing the water not to come out, and the pan comes across and then it lifts up here. Well, if that whole thing fills up, then it's going to drip over the edge of the pan and down, and drip, drip, drip underneath here, down onto your floor, whatever. Okay, but that was not the case. It was the very opposite side, and that's how we got it fixed. And I didn't have to call an air conditioning company. Had I have called an air conditioning company, they probably would have charged $250, and you never know. They could have said anything. Oh yeah, we have to replace the whole guts to it, even though maybe they knew that it was just a clogged filter. It was simple as being a clogged filter, and that's all. You check all that kind of stuff out yourself first before calling the big boys. That's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.